Good evening, everyone. Sunday evening, 9:30 here in Spain, 8:30 back at home in the UK. I hope everyone is well. Good evening, and thank you for joining me. Over, well, nearly 500 people already waiting in the room. Thank you very, very much indeed. I'm going alone tonight, guys. I'm not going to invite anyone else on tonight. You've got me to yourself. I've got you to myself because I've got the ump tonight, and I'm going to tell you why. Has anyone else had enough? I'm up to here with it, and I'm sure you are too. Basically, we're going to go through a few things this evening. I've got some videos to show you, little snippets, bits and pieces that have just done my frigging head in over the last 24 hours. Is it Christmas in Spain? Not yet. This is the new tree with some little lights on it. Actually, I could make it a bit Christmassy. Let's have a little look. Hold on a minute. There you go. That's a bit more Christmassy, isn't it? Yeah, that's even more Christmassy. Maybe a bit early for that. Yeah, definitely. Right, guys. A few things that have just, got into my head over the last 24 hours. And quite frankly, I don't know, I'm getting to the stage where I'm becoming lost for words. And I'm just so confused. I'm so frustrated with everything. And we look at the Labour Party conference that's going on right now. That is a farce all in itself. I mean, it takes a special kind of idiot to be able to upset those on the left and the right, and it appears that Starmer's even managed to do that. I mean, a lot of people are saying he's finished, he's got to go. I say, personally, no. That's the worst thing that could happen, believe it or not. If we get rid of Starmer now, if Starmer goes right now, they're going to replace him with some half-decent, half-likeable buffoon like Andy Burnham, and all the Labour voters, the regular red wall, the ones that know nothing really apart from red is Labour and blue is Tory, they'll go back to voting Labour. So we don't want someone like Andy Burnham in charge. Let Keir Starmer finish the bullshit job that he started, so that when he gets obliterated politically, he gets him and his Labour Party get completely wiped off the face of the earth. But that's not why I've got the ump tonight. I'm going to start off medium, like a curry. When you like a curry, you start off medium and you build yourself up to the hottest one, right? So I'm going to start off lowly, right? And if this is low, well, you know what it's going to get. I want to go back, by the way, to that Quran burning protester who was attacked by Musa Kadri, who was given a 20-week prison sentence, suspended for 18 months. Now, I'm not going to replay the video again. You've all seen it. A man obsessed, or possessed, I should say, with a long-bladed knife, punching, kicking, swiping, threatening to kill, all the bits and pieces that you can imagine. You've all seen the video by now. This is what started me off this weekend, right? This is the start, and it builds up from there. So you've all seen that video. Now, what I didn't know is if it wasn't bad enough that he got a suspended sentence, the victim, Hamit Kuskan, was convicted of a public disorder offence. He was convicted of an offence why the guy that wanted to stab him and went home to get a knife got off with a suspended sentence. Now, I didn't know that. I only knew that the guy had got a suspended sentence. I didn't know that the victim had actually got a bigger fine than the guy with a knife. Incredible, absolutely incredible. And the sentencing remarks from the judge, he told Kadri that his actions were disgraceful, but issued him only with a suspended sentence, sparing him jail because, hold on a minute, what does it say? It says sparing him jail because he found the chance of repeating the crime was almost non-existent. Really? Almost non-existent. I mean, when was the last time you went home to get a knife, ran out on the street and went out and attacked someone, I'd say if you're capable of doing that once, you're pretty likely to be able to do it again. He also said in court that Kadri had lost his temper at what he perceived as a deeply offensive act. A deeply offensive act. Kuskan, the victim, meanwhile, was convicted and fined £336 by the courts. He's currently appealing that conviction and remains in hiding after receiving death threats from Islamic extremists. In hiding. So his punishment isn't just 336 quid, he's now had to go into hiding. Now, here's the crux of this matter. We get to the end of that because that is relatively an old story now. But it turns out today that there are other examples of prosecutions for those who have criticised Islam, including people going out and burning the Quran. And I've gone on record before, and I'll do it again, as saying that I don't believe in burning anyone's religious book. I think it's unnecessary. But if you want to offend someone, right, in a free country, that's your goddamn choice. But none of these examples of prosecutions, none of them that I can find, have been for those who have criticised Christianity. So you can criticise Christianity as much as you like. You can go on the streets and burn as many Bibles as you want. Nothing's going to happen. This is a blasphemy, backdoor blasphemy law. There is no question, no doubt about it. You can tell me that we don't have blasphemy laws in this country all you like. They dress it up in the guise of a hate crime. It's the same goddamn thing, just a different wrapper. When you unravel it, when you open it, it's the same piece of shit. That's the bottom line. So that is what started me off today. That is what, when I found that out, I actually found that out yesterday, to be honest with you. And it really, really got my goat. And it's just got words from them. So I thought, well, I need to come online and have a bloody good old rant with the family. Let's have a little look. Keir Starmer saying that he's going to reclaim the flag from the far right. Well, I've got a message for Keir Starmer and his lefty lovies. It's not the far right that have claimed our flag. It's the far left who are trying to steal our colours. I want to get that one off my chest. There's no one on the right, centre right, whatever you want to call it, just right and wrong I call it. There's no one to reclaim that flag from, apart from the lefties who are trying to deny it, trying to deface it, trying to steal it from us, and everything else that is bad. So that one also kind of rolled me over the last couple of days. Don't worry, I'm saving the best ones till last. Let me have a little look in the chat. I see you all piling in there. Thank you very much, Grandor. Lefty police attacking children, not surprised. Oh, it's all been going on this weekend. It's all been going on. Want to give Billy Moore a big shout out. Billy messaged me this morning, sent me a couple of clips. If any of you haven't seen Billy's latest video that he uploaded this morning, please go and watch it after this stream. It is a real eye-opener. Now, Billy's given me permission to play a couple of clips from that video. I've got a couple of very important clips that I want to play from Billy's video, and it just highlights exactly what is going wrong in our country and confirms the two-tier policing that we currently have to live under. And quite frankly, I'm going to say this. I messaged my girls this morning and I said, you know what? It's a bloody good job I am out of the UK because I think I'd be dying of an heart attack by now. I just couldn't take this. Lauren, Golding's bus is hilarious. Starmer says we have free speech, so how can Golding be arrested for words on a bus? Don't worry, Lauren, I'm coming to that one. We're also going to get to that one as well, because that is absolutely comedy gold. And fair play to Paul Golding. The video was fantastic. I hope he doesn't mind me playing a couple of clips from his video today. Whether you're a fan of Britain First or not, doesn't matter. The point is this: we're supposed to live in a free, democratic society. Now, at the end of the day, it seems that if you report someone now and you tell the police that you've been harassed, alarmed and distressed, they will go and visit you and potentially arrest the person that has allegedly harassed, alarmed and distressed you. Well, I can tell you that Aston Bloody Villa Football Club have harassed and alarmed and distressed me this afternoon after the referee denying us 2 penalties in the first half. Are they going to go and nick them? Are they going to go and question the referee? No. I'm joking, right? Pulling your legs. But you know what it's like. You know what I mean? If we're going to send the police round because someone is feeling alarmed and distressed or offended, where do we go? Meanwhile, whilst the police are wasting time sending officers around to people's homes at 12 o'clock at night to arrest them for tweets, we got this going on in our streets. Look at this. This is in London today, or yesterday, I believe.
Oh, crap.
Look at this.
Oh, shit. Shit.
Full-blown knife fight. Look at the state of London. Look at it. Sadiq Khan's London.
In the masjid. Ya Allah.
This is London 2025. This is my home.
He has a shank.
That is my home, once my home. London. Oh my good God. Is it unbelievable or is it unbelievable? What can you say to that? Central London in broad frigging daylight, a full-blown knife fight is absolutely incredible. Slimming says, I just want out of this country and off this planet. I am done. England, sightseeing. Sussex is missing you, Paul, but you are safer there. I get it, mate. I mean, look, old news, but I'm desperate to come home to see some of my grandchildren. Desperate to come back for a few days and see some of my grandchildren that are not out here. But I really just don't know what's going to happen when I get back. Am I going to get pulled? Am I going to get questioned? Are they going to make some bullshit stuff up and keep me there for days on end? Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? At the moment, it's Stasi Starmer's new hobby, sending out his Stasi troopers to arrest anyone that he doesn't agree with. We've all seen the videos. They're getting more and more and more. Every day you go onto X and there's another video, someone being arrested for saying this, for saying that, for saying nothing. They're just making it up as they frigging go along. And I've got the right up again tonight with our police services up and down the country. I have always been a supporter of our police. Always, until it gets to the point where I just don't get them anymore. I just don't get them anymore. Will they, my question is, will they do anything in return for money? What won't they do? That is my question to serving police officers or their families watching this tonight, who are probably sitting there holier than thou, thinking, oh, their little Johnny or their little Sarah that does the job is a good boy and a good girl and they're doing a grand job for their community. Really? Are they arresting rapists, murderers, muggers? Are they out doing that job, or are they out bullying patriots, protecting terrorist supporters? Are they out harassing senior citizens in their home at night because they put a post on X? Are they pulling up people driving around with a banner? We'll have a look at that in a minute. And it gets even worse. So my question to them is tonight, what won't you do for money? Not what will you do, what won't you do in return for your wage packet? At what stage do your superiors give you an order and you say, I'm not doing that, that's not what I signed up for. I didn't sign up to bully my own people. I didn't sign up to put my jackboot on the population's head. I didn't sign up to turn against my own people and what I believe in. Or will you just ignore all that, go against everything that your heart and your mind tells you is right in return for money? That's my question. I told you I had the ump tonight, and I have got the ump. I've got plenty of friends. Thank you, Jackie. Stay where you are, mate. Yeah, I'm going to for the moment. I've got plenty of friends. I've said this many times before. I've got plenty of friends in the police service, serving right now. I've got plenty of friends that used to and have now left, right? But I'm sick and tired of hearing the same thing from, not all of them, but most of them say the same thing. Oh, you don't understand. You only see this side of the story. You only see that side of the story. Sometimes there's only one side of a goddamn story to see, and I see what I believe what I see with my own eyes, and I come to my own decision. And what the videos that I'm going to play you tonight is all you need to know. All you need to know. Josephine, what a disgrace, Paul. They need to chuck Khan out now. No ifs, no buts. But it goes, I absolutely agree, but it goes a lot deeper than that, isn't it? It goes a lot deeper than just Khan. Everything is rotten to the goddamn core. Yeah, this is fast become the expat channel at this rate. I mean, look, where else have we got to go when we're no longer welcome at home? When you're no longer welcome at home, where else do you go? If I can't come home, where can I go? I am in some ways a genuine refugee. Where can I go if I'm not welcome at home, if I'm not wanted, if I'm going to be politically intimidated and bullied and harassed for doing what? Nothing other than speaking the truth, speaking my mind, and trying to talk sense into people, trying to unite people of all different backgrounds. When they start coming after people like me, people like Danny, you know something is very badly wrong. Very badly wrong. And it even seems now that, I mean, they pulled George Galloway, who's on the other side, right? So it doesn't really matter who you are, whether you're on the left or the right. If you're not towing Starmer's line, they're going to intimidate you. This is not a free country anymore. We used to grow up with that saying, oh, it's a free country. Not anymore, it's not. 2,770 people watching. Please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Right, let's get into the first video. That it was comical, but it also was very revealing as well. So Paul Golding from Britain First took one of his, well, he calls them the battle bus out in Manchester. Let's have a quick look at that.
Look at this, we've just been pulled over in Altrincham. We've got a police car that's at an angle to stop us. And then back there, you've got police car, police van, and about 10 officers. Just because we're driving around with banners saying Keir Starmer is a wanker.
So that's the first part. As I said, look, I haven't spoke to the boys over there, so, you know, I don't want to play too much of their video. I hope they don't mind. Go over to the Britain First website, YouTube channel, if you want to see the entire video. It's quite long and it is very revealing, but it starts to get more sinister or more funny, whichever way you want to have a look at it.
Minute, you've got the word wankers displayed on the side. So someone might take offence to that. I know, obviously, you...
So he's got the word wanker on the side of his bus, and someone might take offence to that. Okay, all right. Well, someone might, I suppose. I mean, if they're that insular, they may take offence to it. Go on, let's carry on.
Might see it as a different way, but technically, it's a public order offence.
The only person who would take offence to that is Keir Starmer. Everyone else agrees with it.
I'm not saying anything in terms of that. I've got to remain biased, but...
Did you just said then, I remain biased? This is a serving police officer right now. All right, you know, it's a slip of the tongue, maybe. I'm not even quite sure she knows the meaning, to be honest with you. Let's just play that little bit again.
saying anything in terms of that. I've got to remain biased, but that's obviously why.
I remain biased. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a fraudulent slip. I mean, maybe she knows exactly what she's talking about.
But if we've not committed a criminal offence, then can we go?
Well, just for the time being, we've got...
It's in terms of, you've got Britain First written on the side of your van.
So?
What's wrong with that? It's a prescribed organisation.
No, it's not.
What?
It's a...
Whoa. So Britain First is a prescribed organisation. This little cracker tells us that Britain First is a prescribed organisation. In other words, it's the equivalent to Hamas. Okay, now that has just come straight out of this police officer's mouth. Now, okay, let's give her every chance. Let's give her every chance. Let's say, bless her, she doesn't know, because she obviously doesn't know, because she doesn't know because they're not a prescribed organisation. They're a perfectly legal, whether you like them or not, different thing. I don't like Jeremy Corbyn's new party, but it's a legal political party. It's not a prescribed terrorist organisation, right? So this young police officer has told Paul Golding that his organisation is a prescribed organisation. Now, you're only a prescribed organisation if you're deemed as a terror group. She just hasn't said the word terror. Now, we can forgive her. If we forgive her for the fact that she's wrong, and I'm quite happy to do that. I'm not an ogre. Let's forgive the young lady for getting it wrong, that Britain First is not a prescribed organisation. The real giveaway is that she thinks it is. That's the giveaway. She thinks it is. She is a serving police officer, I believe, in Greater Manchester Police, I believe. And she thinks the perception, what's in her mind, is that Britain First, a patriotic party, whatever you want to call it, is a prescribed organisation. In her mind, she thinks they're terrorists. Now, like I said, we can forgive her for being wrong, but what we can't forgive her for is the perception that she's got in her head. How would that bias spill over in the street? That incorrect bias. She believes in her mind right now that people sitting in this bus belonged to a prescribed group, which would make it a terrorist organisation. Which, of course, she is entirely and utterly and absolutely disgustingly wrong. If she doesn't know if that group is prescribed, she should go check it out before she opens her mouth. But no, that's in her mind. That is the perception. Just the same as if you was to mention the name Tommy Robinson, she'd say he's a racist. She simply doesn't know. But she is in one of the most important frontline jobs that there can possibly be in this goddamn country at a time when community relations and some common sense, some fairness, without fear, without favour, all of those things that we were brought up with to believe in the police. Whilst all of those things are needed now more than ever, here we've got this police officer describing a wholly political party as a prescribed terrorist group. It is beyond shocking. Beyond shocking. And as I say, not because she's got it wrong. That's fine. She's made a mistake. I don't mind. We'll forgive her for that. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. The same as the last officer. This is now the second mistake. One officer says she's going to remain biased. The next one accused them of being a prescribed terrorist group. That's two mistakes, but we'll carry on. But you know the perception. When those police officers get back in their vehicle, what do you think their perception is? When they're talking to each other about what they should do, should they be arresting anyone? Should they be withholding anyone, detaining anyone? Should they put the handcuffs on? It's the perception. Right, let's move on to the next clip.
You just couldn't make this up, could you?
In relation to the banner, that's made up.
Absolute nonsense.
Organisation in relation to your banner.
We've got to wait here until a traffic officer...
So we'll just get this clear now. They've now cleared up. This is later on in the video. They've now cleared up in their own little minds. They've gone off on the radio. They've just been educated that you shouldn't be strictly biased. They've just been educated that it's not a terrorist organisation. They've just been educated that actually there's no offence being committed. So once they've been through all of that, they're now calling in a specialist traffic officer to make sure that their tyres are legal. Let's carry on.
Arrives to check the vehicle over, all the tyres. They know it's MOT'd, it's taxed, it's insured. We haven't committed any crimes. We're a political party. Now they're getting a traffic officer out to see if we're like 1 millimetre below the tyre depth on the tread. Unbelievable.
Right.
I just wanted to ask, I mean...
Yeah.
Are we being detained?
At the minute you are. I've obviously told you why you're detained.
Because we haven't committed any crime. Our van's perfectly legal. Tax, MOT, insurance.
We're just looking into that, okay?
Sorry, I had the mic muted. I'm going to stop it there. Do you notice anything else about this delightful young professional? Just watch her face, watch her carefully. And you can, if you're good at hearing, you can even have a little listen, actually. What's the rest of this?
It's been requested, obviously, from our superiors that we come and have somebody from traffic come and have a look at it, okay? They are on the way, so, as I say, we're just waiting for that.
But what legislation are you detaining us under?
But I've already told you in terms of the banners, haven't I? We've already informed you exactly what offences we're looking at.
I thought we'd clear that up.
So that actually reminds me of there at the end. Let's play that bit again.
Offences we're looking at.
Let's just turn it down. Look, you can even hear her chewing the gum. Look at her. She looks like a teenage girl looking out the window at school, chewing her gum. She's probably got her boyfriend's name written on her hand. I mean, honestly, it's just... The lack of professionalism is just disgraceful. Lack of professionalism, lack of manners, lack of knowing the law, lack of everything. But more than anything, a dangerous mindset, a dangerous preconceived mindset that anyone that is a patriot is probably a racist or belongs to a terrorist organisation, etc., etc., etc. 4,000 people now watching on a Sunday evening. Thank you so much, guys. Please don't forget to do all the usual YouTubey stuff. Hit that upvote button if you wouldn't mind. That would be really appreciated. And most of all, please subscribe. I am closing in on 300,000 subscribers. I'm only about 600 short of 300,000 subs. Who is going to be my 300,000 subscriber? Thank you so much for that. Over 4,000 people watching now. I have got the ump tonight, as you might be aware. I mean, I've just had it up to here of watching this BS, right? My wife says to me, Paul, you got to take some time out from this. It's going to do your head in. And it is doing me head in because we just want this to stop, don't we? Sue, as you can see, I met lovely Billy at UTK. Brilliant, Sue. Nice one. Billy's a great lad. Love my country, but I want out now, says Laurie. So many people just absolutely had a goddamn enough. Pauline, thank you. I have no respect for coppers, nor do I fear them. I'm fed up. It's that simple. I have to believe we'll get our country back, but we have very long memories. They need to remember that very long. I tell you what, Pauline, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, a lot of people say, I don't fear the police. Sodom, they can do what they like. Oh, no. I fear them. I fear the police because I know what they're capable of doing. I know from past experience that this is my own personal experience of them, and this is going back to another subject which I won't go into tonight because I've done it. But when I was a watch dealer, I got robbed 3 times, and they proved to me time and time and time again they couldn't care less about guilt or innocence, and they told me that to my face. They don't care about guilt or innocence. That is for a jury to decide. So even if you're innocent, they will still nick you and put you in front of a jury, and then they feel that their conscience is clear because it's the jury that will either find you not guilty or send you down the goddamn road. Disgraceful. And that is the moment, the definitive moment that I lost respect for the police forever. I will never ever respect them again until there is a complete and utter clear out from, what do they say, a root and branch change throughout the police force, throughout the police services. There are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people serving in our police forces right now that should not be there, in my opinion. Angela, thank you, Angela. A few days ago, you showed a clip from YouTuber Christ or Chaos. I'd love to see you invite him on sometime. He's a true patriotic gent. Angelina, thank you so much. Let me write that down. I'll tell you why, because I wanted to get in contact with that gentleman and I couldn't bloody remember his name. So let me write that down now. If he's watching, please get in touch with me. I'd love to invite you onto the show. If not, if you're not watching, I will try and get hold of you. But Angelina, thank you, because I did try to reach out to him and forgot which channel it came from, and I couldn't find it. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that indeed. Gonna save the best till last, right? And hope that me blood pressure tablets keep me on the level. Tree Goblin, come back on a dinghy, avoid customs, yeah. Kitty Cats, we need a general election then to vote for Advance UK. I would love a general election. The only trouble is I don't think we're ready for that quite yet, Advance. You know, we've got a lot of work to do. I think Ben will be the first to admit that. We've got a hell of a lot of work to do. The biggest job that we have in front of us is convincing all those reform voters out there that if you want genuine reform, then you vote Advance UK. Because reform are no longer the party we thought they were. Everyone hung their hopes on Nigel Farage and reform. And I myself campaigned from at the last election. Tommy said vote reform. Pretty much everyone, except for Richard, to be fair, who absolutely nailed it and got it right. Even back then, he said, no way do I trust these people, but he still backed them, to be fair, at the last election. What we found out, very quickly found out, is that reform are no longer reform, they are simply revert. So if you want real reform, you join Advance UK. The link is at the bottom of the screen. Big news tonight, a big piece of news tonight. I have a guest coming on to my show very shortly. Got to firm it up with him. Let me just read a message here from Ben Habib, actually. Just 1 second. Yeah, okay, so this is now confirmed. We have a viewer that is going to come on to the show in the next few days, and he is going to absolutely blow the lid off Nigel Farage. I've heard the recordings. I've listened to them with my own ears. I've heard everything I need to hear that confirms what many of us think. We've been in contact with the right people to make sure that these recordings can be not aired. He's gonna tell you what Nigel told him, but I have the recordings as evidence should we need them. And I think you'll find them rather mind-blowing and hugely revealing. That's coming up exclusively on this channel over the next few days. You are gonna, I think you're gonna enjoy that one. And you will know why we are all supporting Ben Habib and joining Advance UK. Chris Manley, looks like we're gonna be British refugees in America. Nuremberg trials, I was only following orders, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to stay calm, mate. You know, I mean, look, this is what this channel's all about. It's to get stuff off my chest, to let you guys know that you're not alone. I mean, there are 4,000 people watching this now nearly. You know, we all probably feel the same. There's probably one or two lefties in here just to keep their eyes on what's going on and, you know, slag us all off, but good luck to them. At least they bump the numbers up. That's what this channel's all about. It's trying to keep everyone on the straight and narrow, keep them. When I say keep them calm, I'm not keeping anyone calm tonight, but what I'm doing is we're all able to get things off our chest without going out and getting yourselves into trouble. You know you're not on your own. Because right now, I need to know that when I'm not on my own, I mean, I've been in Benidorm this afternoon, met some viewers, you know, lovely people, you know, saying keep up the good work. Well, that means a lot to me. We need that. We all need each other right now. Lady Nick 52, so true, Paul, it's beyond belief. What do I think of the ID cards, Paul? Well, look, I'm totally and utterly against the idea myself, because I believe it is just another way of control. Ultimately, it is just another way of controlling us, making sure that we conform. It's all about conformity, this, for me. Our kids are already finding it difficult enough to be able to rent or buy or even get a goddamn bank account. Now, I mean, forget if you've got kids now that are in their early 20s. I mean, they're not kids in their early 20s, are they? But you know what I mean. If you've got young adults that are looking to rent or buy, they're looking to leave home, they're looking to get their first property, either renting or buying, never mind that, their first task is to go and try and get a bank account. That's a mission all in itself these days. They want to know where your money came from, how you earned it, who gives it to you, why did you spend this, what do you want to draw out 200 quid for, where are you going to spend that? It's a mission all in itself. So these ID cards will just turn the thumb screws even further. If they decide that they're going to limit your mileage in a car, for an example, and you go over that mileage, well, you won't be able to fill your car up. If they decide that you're burning too much electric, you won't be able to top your electric up. If you run out of gas because you've been using too much gas, you might not be able to turn it on. Sounds a bit far-fetched, but I wouldn't put anything past this lot. They are absolute and utter control freaks. Mayor Tuesday has said he's going to start naming and shaming the coppers. Well, that's Mayor's decision. I think he needs to be very careful because they will come after him. It's all very well for people to sit at home and go, oh, you know, have some balls, you know, do it. Well, I tell you what, if anyone wants to test the police, if anyone wants to test the authorities, be my guest. That's all I can say. You know, you do it, you have a go. Yes, we need to be brave, but there's no need to be stupid. You know when you're under, know when you're in a no-win situation is my advice where that sort of thing is concerned. And I think if you start naming and shaming individual police officers, I think that opens up a whole new can of worms that could lead people into serious trouble. I'll be very, very careful with that one. What I would say is, and I think this is something that Mayor spoke about not so long ago, but I haven't heard any more. And Richard mentioned this yesterday. This is not, so it's not my idea, and I can't take credit for speaking about this again this evening. Richard rang me yesterday. Because we're all sick and tired of hearing the police saying, have you got a press pass? Where's your press credentials? You know what? Screw your press credentials. What that really means is, have you got a government-approved press card? Have you got a narrative-approved press card? That's what it really means. And what we do need, we need a proper, legal, legitimised social media, citizen journalist union or membership scheme of some kind where we can get our own legal protection, maybe somehow through the Free Speech Union. I don't know if there's anyone out there from the Free Speech Union watching. Maybe it's something that you could take up on our behalf. A new membership, I would certainly be willing to pay a substantial amount of money every year, I'm sure all the rest of the YouTubers would, to be issued with a free speech union press card, something along those lines. I mean, it's something that I would like to do myself, but as I said to Richard, I just don't have the time. But we need something like that, and it needs to be properly done, properly organised, so that it offers us some proper protection. And if the police refuse to acknowledge that, then maybe we'd have to take it up in the courts. Jackie, thank you. Bring back the coppers who clipped us round the ear, then took us home so we could get another clump. Yeah, those were the days. Tony, did you see Rupert Lowe comments about UTK on Andrew Gould podcast? He said his heart was with UTK. Well, look, it's funny you should mention Rupert. This is the image from the Advance UK launch yesterday. Magnificent, even though they had a massive scramble to get a rearranged event at the last moment. Now, I'm going to be honest with you about Rupert Lowe. Thank you very much for that, Tony. I didn't see that. I'm just going to say it. I'm getting a bit tired of his noise, to be honest with you. You know, come on, Rupert, step up to the plate. You know, you've got thousands of people that have paid a membership to your organisation. We all support you, Rupert. You know, I'm not saying I don't support you or your views, but we need you to step up to the plate, Rupert. Talk's cheap, right? There's a launch of a brand new party there. It's got 35,000 members in record-breaking time. One of your best pals is the leader of that party. He is talking to the world's richest man. What on earth are you waiting for, Rupert? You know, if your heart is with Unite the Kingdom, if your heart is truly with the people and you're not in this for yourself and you're not just another posh Tory that can't quite hold his nose enough to speak to us and be involved with us, just tell us, mate. Just put your cards on the table. You know, don't raise our hopes. Don't tease us with all the right rhetoric and then become another no-show. We've heard it all before. So with all due respect, Rupert, I think you're great. I really like you. I have the ultimate respect for you. But it's just starting to wane a little bit, I'm afraid. And I can tell you now, if you get to see this, Rupert, because I honestly wish you the very best and I mean the best for you, is that your lack of engagement with the Unite the Kingdom team, people behind it, social media people like myself, like Liam Tufts, etc., your lack of willingness to engage with us hasn't gone unnoticed. So we just don't know what your game plan is. I don't think there is a game plan. What is it? I'm not attacking Rupert Lowe at all. I'm just telling you how I feel and how a lot of other people feel. I can tell you that for sure. Ray, thanks, Ray. Really appreciate that, mate. Everyone else, Bob Hunter, thank you, Bob. Paul, I followed you for a long time. Billy Moore gifted Charles Veach 2 bodyguards for free today. The tide is turning, Paul. We will defeat the forces of evil. Soros is also, I'm in the target range. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Pauline, thank you again. I'm a mum of a victim. I have no fear. Well done, Pauline. My good friend and moderator, Ian, my Geordie mate, you sound a bit stressed, Paul. You need another night out with me. I could definitely do another night out with you, Ian. Look forward to the next night out in Newcastle. Love being up in Newcastle. Paul, can you please comment on any fears and allay any fears as unfounded? Can you clarify what Ben Haviv said, re Quran, was pure of God on damn woman in peace? I can't comment on that because I haven't heard it, to be honest with you. So I'm not quite sure. No, I'm not quite sure what you mean, to be fair. Thanks anyway, mate. I'll try and have a look at that. But listen, if you've got a question like that, or if there's any questions for Ben, You can always email him. You can email the party. Ben will get back to you. I tell you that now. He's a man of the people. He's Ben, 100%. So talking of Newcastle, let's get to Billy Moore's video that he so kindly allowed me to play some clips from that. Cheers, Billy. Much appreciated, mate. And in particular, the star of tonight's show is this particular police officer up there in Newcastle. I'm not sure if he's part of the Newcastle Constabulary or the Norfolk, whatever constabulary it is up there. But this gentleman in particular, I'm going to call him Antifa in a uniform. One of the worst, let me think. One of the worst pieces of policing that I've seen in a very long time for so many reasons. It is sinister, it is horrible, and it is totally uncalled for, and it personifies this two-tier policing world that we live in. Now, we've all seen now the police pander around and allow the Palestinian mob to wave their hate flags, etc. We've even seen police officers posing with them. Haven't we? We've even seen police officers posing with their Palestinian protesting buddies. And this delightful gentleman, if you haven't seen it already, as I said, go over and see the whole video over at Billy Moore's. It's a great video, but let's have a little look at this clip, which started to raise my blood pressure this morning.
Whoa.
What the friggin' hell is all that about?
Because you're being a kid.
Look at the face, look at the attitude, just look. And now you're not going to tell me that this guy is not a rank hard-on lefty, right? Look at his face, look.
Not getting it. Should I get a flag back? No. Why not?
Not getting it, no.
This is Louis, yeah? 16 years old.
A 16-year-old patriot, a 16-year-old girl may have not even left school, and that bullying bastard grabs her flag off her, screws it up like it's a terrorist, like it's a Nazi flag, screws it up like it's a piece of shit. And that is what wound me up, right? My grandfather fought in the war for that flag. He lost an arm for that flag. And there's thousands and thousands and thousands of our young men and boys went off the war and fought for that flag. And that prick thinks he's got the right to grab it out of her hands and treat it like it's a piece of shit. Disgusting. The guy should be sacked tomorrow for that alone. That flag is sacred to us. How dare he treat our flag like that? How dare he screw our flag up like that? He may as well chucked it on the floor and spat on it.
It's just that the flag that you've been carrying snatched out your hand by that police officer. It's shocking, isn't it?
Meanwhile, you've got the other mob waving their flags around. You've got them waving their flags around, shouting out all their shit that they shout out. Nothing. And by the way, as well, also revealed in Billy's video is police officers telling young patriots to take their masks off, then telling them that they were going to go and tell the other mob to take their masks off. And I saw no evidence of that taking place. And later on in the video, they're still wearing masks. Two-tier policing, as clear as day, as clear as the nose on your face.
Crazy scenes.
Now, here's the other mob, right? Look at the difference in the way they treat him. So these people, these three, I think they're young ladies, have a flag, and I think it says refugees welcome on the flag, on the Union Jack, right? Have a look at the difference. The reason that police officer and these police officers are approaching these girls, I believe, is to tell them to get off of the desk. They're standing on an object and they don't want them standing on the object. I don't know why not. They're not going to fall off and hurt themselves. But okay, fair enough. They're telling both sides to get off the desk, off the table or whatever they're standing on. But look at the difference in attitude. Please get down, please get down. Honestly, we're being really nice to you. Let's have a little look at that again if it hasn't raised your blood pressure enough. Oh, I tell you what, do you know what?
Whoa. Why would you do that? Because you're being a kid. Not getting it. Should I get a flag back? No. Why not? This is Louis, yeah.
Yeah.
16.
Well, there he is, everyone. Let's make him famous. The pride of Newcastle, the pride of the North East. I don't know what to say about the man, quite honestly. Bad policing? Nah, it's worse than that. A bad moment? Was he in a bad mood? Nah, sorry. You can't forgive so. That was a deliberate snatch of a flag that he hates. It was the deliberate screw up of a flag that does not represent him, or he feels does not represent him. That was a politically motivated snatch of someone's property who he then refused to give back. It's not an offensive weapon, you prick. It was a flag. Give it back to the kid. She's a girl. She's 16 years old. She's probably paid 15 quid off of eBay for that out of her own hard-earned money, and you steal it from her. What are you keeping it for? What was you retaining it for? Was it an offensive weapon? Was she going to potentially go down the road and hurt someone with it, or hurt someone's feelings? 2 questions, 3 questions. Why did you take it in the first place? Why was you so angry and abusive and so aggressive in the way in which you took it and screwed it up? We talk about people being harassed, alarmed and distressed. This man has harassed, alarmed and distressed probably 80% of the nation. What's going to happen to him? Nothing. But it should do. He should at very least be suspended and have a very, very strong word about the way he treats the flag that represents all of our people, everyone, and especially it represents those that gave their goddamn lives so that he could have the freedom to do what he did. I am absolutely incensed with that action. I'm sorry. Unbelievable, unbelievable. And then we've got the other mob on the other side. What's this? There's a question here for the people of Newcastle tonight. And we know how passionate the people of Newcastle can be. We see that all the time. Incidentally, can anyone let me know how they got on playing football today? What's the score? Arsenal, Newcastle. Theft, just like grabbing a hat off a child at tennis. Yeah, absolutely. Bob, thank you. Paul, if you live in Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales or Spain or the world, doesn't matter. We are all united together in the spirit, love and kindness against the tyranny trying to ensnare our souls. Thank you, Bob. That is very, very true, my friend. Yeah, what was the score? Arsenal, Newcastle. Someone's going to put it in. Let's have a look. Just catch up in the chat. I've got to get to the bottom of the chat. Here we go. Blimey, I can't even get to the bottom of the chat. It's so long. Can I get to the bottom? Hold on a minute. 2-1 to Arsenal. Right, okay. So we have seen how, we know how passionate the Geordies are. My question for the people of Newcastle, the wonderful people of Newcastle, are you going to allow this shit to take place on your doorstep? Look at this.
And then we'll go where a counter demonstration is.
Now, she sounds like a good Geordie girl, doesn't she? Listen to her, mouthy cow.
Protesting then. If they're still there, we stand here. That is the very nature of the word counter demonstration. Oh, do you know what?
So now we see a young lad, he looks what, I don't know, 15, maybe 16. He's found his way into this area. I don't think he's with the Patriot group at all. He's just kind of sticking up for his country a little bit. And look at the way they bully him, look. Listen to what she says.
No, why don't you go over there? I just not welcome here, so
look, you're not welcome here. This guy, this lad is a young Geordie, but apparently, according to this woman, who sounds like I think she sounds like she's from Manchester, right? But the accent I can pick up. She's telling this young Geordie lad that he's not welcome in his own city. Behind her is another prat carrying a banner that says smash fascism and racism. And underneath that, it's probably a bit small that you won't be able to read it, but it says, by any means necessary. By any means necessary. Now, is that more offensive than Keir Starmer's a wanker? Is it more threatening? What has by any means necessary been? We've been through this one before. Does it mean Tyler Robertson style actions? Does it mean that, is that by any means necessary? We need to know. The police should be questioning these people. What does by any means necessary mean? What do you mean by that? Where is the line? Will you draw a line? Because to me, by any means necessary means by any means necessary. It means whatever it takes, whatever, no barriers, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Let's finish this video clip.
Passionate welcome. Sorry. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Young fast here. Young fast.
You're only a kid, leave him alone.
So as the kid now tries to walk through the crowd, she's now trying to rally up the others to goad him. You know, maybe someone might want to throw a punch at him. It would all be fine because, you know, he's a fascist, right? Vile behaviour, all witnessed by the police and absolutely nothing done about it whatsoever. Why? Two-tier policing. Two-tier policing has spread as far as Newcastle. And that surprises me a little bit, and I'll tell you why, because a lot of the police officers in Newcastle will be good old Geordie lads themselves. That's their own people. I go back to my question earlier. What is the price of turning your back on your own people? How much do you want? How much do you need to be paid to be turn against your own people? Couldn't pay me enough. No money in this world would see me turn against my own people, or would see me side with wrong over right. Sorry, I just ain't doing it. Just ain't doing it. So thanks to Billy Moore for allowing me to use his videos. I really appreciate that. Billy's doing some great work, by the way. I met Billy in Benidorm a few weeks back. Really nice lad, top guy. And I wish him every success. His channel is exploding, and rightly so. You know, he's getting out there, putting himself in danger, getting out and amongst it. He personifies for me what being a genuine citizen journalist is all about. And Charlie Veach is doing a similar sort of job. AY, they're all doing great jobs. They are bringing you the stuff from the streets that the mainstream media want, that the mainstream media fear. And that is why they are now being targeted. We're all being targeted. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised. Thank you very much. Where is, I'll tell her that. Let's 1 second. Where is it? There you go. Thank you. I'll tell her that. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised at all if all of the YouTubers start getting knocks on the door, channels demonetized, bank accounts frozen. That's the next step. We know what's going to happen, because they're having far too much success. Their audience are far too big. Things are getting dangerous for them in the respect that far too many people are watching and listening, and they do not want that. The Secret Vault, thank you. Please sign the Say No to Digital ID government petition, 2 million so far. Last I heard it was 2.5 million. Kobe Jack gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Kobe. Really appreciate that. Look, they won't stop. They're coming after us all. I've been warning my friends for a very long time that are in business. Some of you might not like me for saying what I'm going to say, but they are my friends and I value them dearly. But some of my friends are not as switched on as they should be, especially those in business that have got you know, a decent bit of money behind them. They don't feel they need to necessarily engage in politics. And I've been trying to convince them for a long time that you engage now or you engage in the future with politics at your cost. If you delay your engagement, the more you delay it, the more it's going to cost you. And my advice to them for a long time has been, get as much as your money as you possibly can out of the UK, because they are coming for it all. That's the type of government that we have in power right now, and they will not stop until they've got what they want. And what they want is social media to stop spreading the word. So I hate to predict this, but I believe that they will be coming after every single one of us in the not too distant future. If all of our channels are still alive by the turn or by the end of this year, I will be very pleasantly surprised. And if they last into the new year, I will actually be quite shocked, because they will find reasons to come after us. They will find reasons to get into the head, the minds, the pockets perhaps of Google and YouTube, and they'll start telling them that these channels really need closing down because they're not good for community cohesion and all the rest of the bullshit that they come out with. When in fact, all we want to do is tell the truth. All we want is fairness, peace, happiness, harmony, and everything else that goes with it. What we are sick of is the lies and the gaslighting. So it's a start warning, I'm afraid, for all the YouTubers. Danny's in the chat, I believe. Yeah, do you know what? I'll ask Billy to come on. I will actually do that. I will actually do that. I'm sure he will. Just subscribe to Billy Moore. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to Billy already, please do so. And thanks also to Britain First for that video, which I thought was very enlightening. That video shouldn't be underestimated, because we know it's a bit of a comedy sketch. It's very easy to watch that and laugh. But when you analyse the unprofessionalism of the police, the slip of the tongue, yeah, like I said, we can forgive that. The chewing of the gum, like that, like she's a kid looking through the playground window, waiting for her boyfriend to turn up in his car. You know, it's just a bad look. And then when you look at what they did to them, pulling them up, trying to find every single rule in the book to try and nick them for something, and then wrongly describing them as a terrorist organisation, before finally calling the traffic police in, a specialist traffic cop, just so he could perhaps try and get a final nick off one of the tyres being a millimetre under the law, which they weren't. Absolutely disgraceful. We are paying for this mess. I nearly said Muppets, but that's the arrestable offence nowadays, isn't it? Muppets. You can't call a police officer a Muppet. Yeah, as Des says, get your money out of the banks. You see, if you really want to bring the government down, if the population really wants to bring the government down, they can do it it could be done in 48 hours. And the way you do it is you just don't spend any money for 2 days. You just boycott everything: banks, betting shops, butchers, grocers, everyone. The nation comes to a standstill for 48 hours. They're gone, finished, done. But unfortunately, and I understand why, I do understand, although I can't quite get my head around it, that people have to earn a living. You know, look, would you give up 2 days' pay to get rid of this government? God, bloody right I would. I'd give up 2 years' pay to get rid of this lot. Yeah, they're reading all our messages and us saying we don't watch MSM anymore. I mean, I've had the BBC back at home in the UK at my old address, clearly sending letters there, And I've told the buggers about 5 times that I've moved. I don't live in the UK anymore, but they still want licence fee money. And now they're making threats. They're going to send an enforcement team round after me telling them that I don't live there anymore. I don't even live in the UK anymore. They can stick their licence fee where the sun don't shine. Bob says, I'm a bus driver with less than 500 quid in the bank. Yeah, I get that, Bob. Ray says, you and Dan are true refugees, unlike the boat people. Police fast, take flags off girls, but then wear defaced flags on the uniform, thin blue line. Absolutely, Ray. Yeah, you're spot on, they do. This is the thing. They have no respect for our own flag. Bob again, use your money for goodness now. Jackie, that march on the 13th has pissed them off, Paul. It certainly has. Digger, thank you, Digger. I was just doing my job and following orders was not an excuse in 1945 and it still isn't now. This is what I say. You know, I've said it all along. I've been saying this ever since I started talking about politics. It's just a question to serving police officers. What wouldn't you do in return for money? And I'm not trying to be funny. Where do you draw the line? I'm asking you. I'd love to know. Where do you draw the line before you turn to your superiors and say, I'm sorry, Gov, I'm not prepared to do that? It's a very simple question, but if there's any serving police officers out there right now watching this, it's not me that you've got to be honest with, it's yourself. Ask yourself that question and then answer it. Where is the line drawn? What is your own moral compass? Where does that lie? At what stage would you tell your superiors that I am not doing that? I'm very sorry. And if it means me losing my job, if it means me getting disciplined, if it means me being suspended, so be it. But I am not prepared to do that. Now, if someone said to me as a police officer, go and grab that Union Jack, that Union flag off that young girl, treat her like she's a piece of shit, and then treat the flag like it's a piece of shit, screw it up, and then basically steal it from her. I'm not doing that. Go screw yourself. I'm not doing that. I'm a fully grown man. I don't treat young ladies in that way. And I certainly wouldn't treat our flag in that fashion. I don't think you'd need to pay that particular officer any money to do that. He's quite happy to do that for free because that's what's in his heart. That's my belief. Bob, cheers, Bob. I will give up my freedom to save my cat. Yeah, I think my wife would as well. I'm not sure that I would because they're little buggers. They make a right bloody mess half the time. With all due respect, before you say something is legal, look it up. Not quite sure what comment you're talking about there, Peace, but let me think. What did I say is legal? Oh, it's gone out of my mind now. I've said so much tonight. Bulldog Spirit, we have started to buy gold now and our boys will get it. So, look, I can't give financial advice. So I'm not qualified to do so and it's wrong to do that. But I agree with your comment. The only trouble with that is gold is very high at the moment. Been a hell of a few weeks, folks. Yeah, it has, Scoop Dog. It has really been a hell of a few weeks. I mean, we've had highs and lows. I mean, we have a lot of... We live in a time, we live in a period of highs and lows, don't we? 3,500 people still watching. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. We are rapidly closing in on 300,000 subscribers. If you haven't already done so, please do so. I want to get to that. That's a real landmark for me. At one stage, I never even thought I'd get to 100,000, and here I am, just short of 300, and that's all down to you guys. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it if you can do that for me. The king is too busy chatting to plants. Yeah, don't talk to me about him. What a disappointment he's turned out to be. No data. No, the data is being collected by Blair and Son. I mean, I've heard this one. I haven't seen evidence or any proof of it yet. But what we do know is that Tony Blair's got his sticky paws all over this. Yeah, that man is one of the worst things that ever happened to this country. He's got a lot of blood on his hands, and not just British blood either. Jesse, you Brits need to dig up your Second Amendment. Unfortunately, we haven't got one. Scoop Dog, Billy Moore, a naughty boy, a naughty lad done good, and then a hard bastard as well, I know. Yeah, look, it's really good. I mean, look, we all know Billy's got a past, but listen, everyone's got things in their background they wouldn't necessarily be proud of, but I've always had a special, what's the right word? I admire people that have been able to turn their lives around. And that is the beauty of social media. It is a classless occupation. You can be anyone. Spoke about this in a video earlier. You can be anyone and start a YouTube channel up, and hopefully, if you can make a go of it, earn the living. I mean, look, I think the truth of the matter is that channels like mine, whilst at one stage were not groundbreaking as such, but when I go back to, you know, the first sort of 6-8 months of me talking about politics, sometimes I was getting 500,000 views on a video. Now I might get 30, 40,000. It's because there's better things to watch. There's better stuff out there. I mean, who wants to watch me rambling on when you can go and watch Billy Moore out on the street? Charlie Veach, I get it. I do it myself. So, you know, there's a corner for every fighter in this space, in this movement. There's a corner for everyone. We just do what we do best. You know, I haven't, you know, I'm past that stage in my life where I want to get out in the thick of things on the streets. It's too dangerous and too potentially too, I'd lose my temper. That's the problem with me. I wouldn't be able to keep my temper, I don't think. So it wouldn't be a good place for me to be at my age. Jack Fate. Oh, I love my granddad, love my dad, love the fact that after we beat the Nazis, being British was boss. Allies around the world too. Not anymore. I'm not boss anymore. Hope Tom is okay. Not seen or heard anything since he's deported from Colombia. Yeah, he's okay. He's just having a bit of a break. Look, I just want to make it clear before we sort of start to come to the end of the show. Whilst I actually feel better. I've been really agged today for a number of reasons. I've been feeling aggy all day about a number of things. And this helps me get it off my chest to know that, you know, we're all in it together. But it does my frigging head in to see people being treated the way they're being treated by the very people that are supposed to be there to protect us. And I'll say it again before we go, I've always been a supporter of the police, but they have let me down personally on so many occasions, too many occasions. Once is enough. Twice, you start to find it hard to swallow. 3 times is unforgivable. And now I keep a very close eye on the way they treat other people. The perception that the police are on our side, I'm afraid, is becoming the biggest misconception of our time. I desperately want to believe in the police. I desperately want to support them. In my heart, I still support the vast majority of boys and girls on the ground that are doing a bloody rough job. Doing jobs that I wouldn't want to do, doing jobs that I wouldn't want to face. Young women as well. Even though I've had a pop at that young woman earlier on, she's probably going to have to do a job tomorrow. Maybe there's been a cop death or something. I don't want to do that. But she's going to have to do it. And I admire her for that. But something's wrong. Something is badly wrong. And I don't know where they think they're going with this. I don't know where they think this is going to end for them. Where is, you know, this is not going to end well for them, for their children, for their grandchildren. It's not going to end well for their futures, in the respect that everything they believe they're protecting is going to be gone. Everything that's worth protecting is going to have been lost. So my appeal tonight to all serving police officers, anyone watching this, families of serving police officers, is speak to your family members. What are they doing? What do they think they're doing? What do they think they're achieving apart from their wage packet? Because I go back to what I said about earlier on about what wouldn't you do in return for money? It's a genuine question. It's a genuine, heartfelt question. Where is your line? And if I had a brother that was in the police force right now, if I had a cousin that was in the police force or whatever, I'd want to ask that question. I'd want to ask them in private. Where'd you draw the line, mate? Just tell me, just between us, where do you draw the line? At what stage would you say, never mind my mortgage, I've got to pay, I can't do that? Surely there's a line for everyone. If there isn't, then you're in the wrong job. Because we all know that there's a line between right and wrong and decency and evil. Stephen Moss says, don't buy gold yet, stack a bit of silver until gold drops. If it drops, Stephen, again, you know, I think that's a sound comment. Again, you know, I say I'm not giving any financial advice. That would be very, very wrong. The only trouble is we don't know if gold's going to go down. It might continue to go up. You know, the worst state the world is in, the worse it gets, the higher the price of gold. The problem with silver is to make any real money on it, you got to buy bloody stacks of the stuff. And it's no good going out buying a few coins. You got to buy tons of the bloody stuff. Depends how much you want to make, I suppose. Thank you very much, Ruth. I really appreciate that. That officer should have turned a blind eye. Well, you know, if he's under orders to remove the flag from the girl, again, you know, I say I would have questioned that. I would refuse to do it. But if he did, we saw the same flag with a different statement on it. Refugees are welcome. And the attitude was entirely different. 2-tier there in front of your very eyes. Political bias there right in front of your very eyes. All we can do is make these people famous and let the people decide. Do their families know about their actions? They probably don't care because you tend to find that, you know, the husband or the wife probably feels the same or whatever. As Lisa said, and it's a real shame, this is the reason people hate the police. It's an effing disgrace. You said it. Right, guys, where are we? 1 hour, 20 minutes. You must be bored shitless of listening to me rant on for 1 hour, 20 minutes. But 3,200 people still watching. So all I can say to that is thank you so much. Should we try and finish on a positive? Give us something positive to finish on. Even me bloody football team lost this afternoon. Oh, dear. Let's have a look. 2,358,000 signatures. Yeah, it won't make a goddamn bit of difference. It could be 12 million. He'll do what he wants to do. He will do what he wants to do. Yeah, someone's saying make that copper famous. Well, I think Billy's video has had some big views. And by the time you guys have finished tonight having a look, those views will be even bigger. Dark Side of the Moon is a new member. Thank you, Jackie. Get yourself a large Baileys. Thank you very much, Jackie. I think I need one tonight. Shay, we do have a Second Amendment in the English Bill of Rights. Is that a fact? Bob, thank you. We need to recognise we are on the cusp between pure evil and pure kindness. Love will always conquer all. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and kindness. What a lovely message, Bob. And let's have a look. Katie, if they won't deport non-UK nationals who commit the most heinous crimes, they certainly won't deport ones that don't have a digital ID. Resist. Yeah, there's no deportations going to take place. And I tell you what, I don't believe they'll take place under reform either. It's all bullshit. David, remember Tony Blair's son got arrested blind drunk? Dark Side of the Moon. Hello, Paul. I've become a member. I'm angry that the lefty copper to that 16-year-old child. I'm at boiling point. Well, that's the way that you relieve that boiling point. Get in there, join Advance UK, and let's make a real difference. We do it legally, we do it peacefully, we do it like English British gentlemen and ladies, of course, and we do things the right way. Bob, thank you. Final one of the night. I love Paul, Billy, Charlie, Danny, Richard, et al. Bob, we love you too, mate. Thank you so much. It's about 4,000 messages in the regular chat tonight, guys. Sorry I've not been able to get through any more of them, but obviously, for obvious reasons, the supers always take precedence. Thanks for your support in the channel. I really do appreciate that. We'll do this one last of all. Betty Boot, the girl with the flag, probably has friction burns on her hands. I'll tell you what should have friction burns. That copper's arse when he's booted out of the police station first thing on Monday morning for being such an aggressive, horrible oik. Right, everyone, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and share all the usual YouTubey stuff. Have a great week, if that's possible. Keep your chins up, and I will catch you next time. I'll see you soon.